Yeah, we battled for 3 quarters, didn't take care of the football the way we needed to, had our opportunities, didn't take advantage of the opportunities when given to us, and then towards the end it got away from us. It was a hard-fought battle for 3 quarters, didn't get the job done when we had our opportunities.
You mentioned missed opportunities internally with your group. How do you try to make sure that the frustration level doesn't get too high where you still show your guys this is how close we are, but don't let the closeness and that frustration of being close prevent you from being able to finish the deal and being able to do what you guys are capable of?
Well, I think you identify it as ourselves, that things that are happening are us doing, and that we got some things we can get corrected, and we will get corrected. We're doing some really good things, and then a play here or maybe an individual here, but it's everybody as a unit coming together. And so we'll get those things corrected. You talk about an all-in group. This is an all-in group. I've said it over and over and over. When you're with these young men when we were 0-11, there was never any wavering, and we knew we had something special because we were going to build it around them. And then last year about this time we were 2-4, and the same group of young men battled through it. And this is the same group of young men that we built it around 2 years ago, rallied around last year, and we'll continue to do that. Will it come this week? Who knows? But we're going to go back to work. We're going to get some of the things corrected, and we're going to prepare to win a football game.
You mentioned obviously those mistakes. The obvious thing you can point to is that when you look at the fourth quarter where you had the ball sitting down in 3 in Illinois State's 17-yard line, turn the ball over, get them 3rd and long twice, they end up getting the big run with James Robinson. How do you really address those situations with your team? And again, not to kind of reinstate my first question, but to show, look, you're still in the game at that point, and that's how quickly it can get away because of those little mistakes.
Sure. We looked at, obviously studied the film, watched it together as a group. Being in the game at one point, 7-7 at half. Coming in there, we lose the football. Our defense does a remarkable job of holding to a field goal and keep it within 10-7. We get a chance to move the ball down the field. We lose the ball. They get it back, but we have a chance to get off the field 2 times on 3rd and long. And it's their best player against our best player on a 3rd and long. We miss a tackle. I'll take our best player 100 times. And they made a great play. We missed a tackle, and it went the distance. And even then, we're not out of it. And we don't take care of the football on a kickoff return, and things start to get away from us there. Said it to them, when you're playing in those type of climates and you score a touchdown, it's like scoring 2 touchdowns. And we got behind, still had a chance, but when you start getting yourself that far behind in those climates, it makes it very difficult.
You mentioned the climate. Not yourself or the players pointed to that as any reason why the turnovers were a little bit more on Saturday than normal. But how do you grade that when you go and watch the film of, all right, that may be bad ball security, but also the fact was you played in an absolute monsoon, specifically really in that second half?
There is no excuse for not taking care of the football. I don't care if it's dry as a desert or rainy like a monsoon out there. There's no excuse. We must take care of the football. They took care of the football, so there is no excuse. They had 2 fumbles. One was a muff punt, which happens any time in any conditions, and we forced a fumble on their fullback and hit them right where you want to hit them. Ball popped out, and that was forced by the hit, not by the climate. But we have to take better care of the football. There's no question about it. It's been an emphasis since day one. It'll be the emphasis all week long, so that'll never change.
One of the things that's really given you a boost offensively is the Wildcat, and kind of looking at Southern, making the transition. How has their Wildcat really transformed their offense this year? Javon Williams Jr. is their guy who has had 107 yards against South Dakota. He's had a really good year with 11 touchdowns rushing. But that dual threat aspect that Michael Hopper brings, it seems like that's exactly what Javon Williams does for Southern.
You know, it has. It's given us a good shot in the arm. Michael can do a lot of things for us. We've been trying to find a place for him. We found a home for him. You know, he's a natural with the ball in his hands. He was a phenomenal high school quarterback, but he's just a football player. And that was our job as coaches, to get him on the field, and we've been able to find a home for him.
What's the biggest thing that you feel from a Southern Illinois perspective that's been the biggest difference for them from when you watched them last year to watching them this year?
Well, you know, you look at him from 2 years ago, and I remember looking at him about this time 2 years ago and seeing that they had continuity. You know, they were able to stay healthy, and it was the same guys playing. And we all have injuries, don't get me wrong. But they've got a really good group of backs, as good a group of running backs I think we have in the conference. They use Javon back there as the wildcat, but yet he's still a tailback, and he's a big, powerful guy. He's got great feet and got really good speed. DJ Davis has been there for quite some time and has had a phenomenal career. He's got great quickness, but what he's also got is he's got great toughness. He's not afraid to stick it in there. And then they bring Ramir in there, Elliott, and they've got a three-headed monster, and they do a phenomenal job up front. They're strong, they're powerful, but their running backs are really, really good. Avante Cox, I'm familiar with Avante. I was part of the recruitment of Avante at the University of Wyoming. We knew we had someone really special there, and he went and played at Wyoming as a freshman. Back closer to home, and of course was player of the week last week, and obviously a very, very good talent.
Defensively, they made change at coordinators this year, and it seems like that's made a huge difference. What do you like about Southern's defense that it seems like, at least statistically, when you look at their numbers and see how they play, they've had more success this year on that side of the ball?
Well, you know, I'm going to start with their safety. You know, Jeremy Chin is, is probably the best player I've seen on film all year. He's a phenomenal player. I thought he was really good last year. He's a total package. He's big, he's running, he can cover, he'll hit you. Just a phenomenal player. I think, you know, anytime you look at a great defense, you look right down the middle of it. And in their case, it's their safety. And then you look at their two inside linebackers. You know, I really like their two inside linebackers, Kreider and Strong. They're active. They'll hit you. And then their interior guys are really strong up front. They can move. They're powerful. But you look at a great defense, and I'm going to tell you every time, you look right down the middle. And that's where they're strong. And they're really good on the outside. Good corners, good outside guys, good ends, but it's right down the middle of their defense that they're really, really strong.
Moving forward, as you look at this weekend, what do you think are going to be some of the key things that can really dictate how this game on Saturday goes?
Well, being able to run the football is going to be the main emphasis. You can run the football, you can open up the pass game, but that's where it's always going to start. It's like a broken record with us. That's what we're built on, and we got to stop the run. I mean, you got three running backs who are all three different, and are all three very, very good. So we got a challenge to run the football and be able to stop the run.